welcome all. Today, fixed hours will be about how to do movie quiz kind of project. And at the end of this session, I will talk about a skill we submitted last week, and I will talk about the why, the how, what we use to make it work, and I would share with you some feedback, some results about this project. So, movie quiz. What we want to do here. I know like Voiceflow is a no-code tool, but the great thing with no-code tool is that's a good way to introduce you to like a new thing. For us, it's voice, obviously, but again, a no-code tool shouldn't mean no code at all. So it also should allow you to go further, and if you want to, you can dive in advanced stuff. And looks like this is more and more the case for a lot of users, a lot of Voiceflow users. They went from a discovery thing, adding some step in the skill, using some features, API, and this, and now they're kind of stuck because they want to go a bit further. And from that, we are using the a custom code. So that's the custom code block where you can use JavaScript. During the all this process, we've made some update. You can now use external library. So again, it's just a good way to avoid you to write too much code. And because of all this, the project you are making are more and more advanced. So that's a good news. That's also why we also are working on the code export. We have an SDK. This kind of all this is related. So we try to help all kind of users. Talking about this, the most recurring question are, okay, how to grab something from a data source on an API and like do a loop into that data source to get the information I want. That's something that I can see often used in like podcast kill, where you are grabbing multiple item from a RSS feed, and you want to pick one or to choose one. That can also be for like a quiz, what we are going to do today. And at the same time, the most following question is, all right, I've got that, but how can I handle a user answer? How can I be sure that answer is corresponding to what I have in my database? So you will have to do some similar IT things here to be sure that what you are using or what the user wants is available in your data source or in your API call. Again, a good example for that is a podcast. You have multiple title in there, you have multiple episode, and you want the user will most likely not say the title as the exact title. So you want to be able to search for this kind of thing. And this is where you will have to do advanced stuff with the custom code. And we will try to cover some of those steps today. And for this, I think of a movie quiz. So what this movie quiz project will do is you will grab data from an API. So the API is the movie database. And what we want to do is grab a movie, take the overview, speak that out to the user, And from that overview, the user should be able to find the title. So what we need, the API, we got that, that's the MovieDB. What kind of API call we need? Well, they have a great documentation here, so you can check whatever stuff you want to grab. For this particular example or project, I will use the latest API endpoint. So this will give you pretty much all the latest movie, and actually not even sure. I think I've changed that to, yeah, trending. So I will use the trending endpoint. So the trending movie, as the name can say, is grabbing the trending movies. That call will give you back a JSON, of course. Let's start with the page one. And from that, you will see that it will have a lot of item. So that's the movie. Max will be like 20 items. And as you can see, total result, total pages. So we have 1,000 pages. Of course, we don't want to use the same movie each time. So we will have to do some to add some randomness to this. And the main information we want, at least for that project, is the title and the overview. On top of that, I will also show you how to filter those results. So basically what we are going to do is scrub all those results, and from that, select the one that have a title with which is not like a very long title. We don't want that, because the more longer the title is, the more chance you have that the user will say something that is not the same as the exact same movie title. So we want to stick on like a 10 character length movie. We will expand that to 15 maybe, but we want to be sure that it's not an adult movie, of course, and we want to that the original language to be English. So that will be it for this project. Of course, you can grab like the backdrop or the poster, but mostly for multimodal project. All right, so that's the main call. From that, we will use the custom code to do what I've just explained. So just as a reference, I've passed it here and comment one of the results we get from the JSON. It's always it can be handy when you then use the code to go through all this. It's handy to have those information. So what we are doing here, well, what we will need is a new array. So the movies array will be the array where we will store all the movie that fits the filter we want. So again, the filter is the title is lower than 10. Let's go for 15. So that's the length. The original language is equal to EN, and we don't want adult movie, at least for that project. So what we do then, if all these those conditions are right, we then grab the title and the overview, and we push that to our movies array. We'll talk about this little guy after that, but then what we are doing is, so that's the map. That's what will do the loop, if you want. You can use a for loop, but I'm using map here and with a function. So the function is the get movie info, and from that function we are applying the filter. So for each item in the movie JSON is the result from the API call. Let's go back right there. Response result, we are mapping that to movies JSON. Again, let's run this so you can see the path. Response, we have page, we have results. What we want is response result. So you click here, it will copy the path, and you pass that right there. This is what we want. So all the result, all the item will be in that movie's JSON variable. And this is what we are using right there. So for that variable, we do the filtering. We grab the movie that matches that filter, and we map the first item title and the first item overview to movie title and movie overview variable. So those variable will be the one we will use in speak block, in other step where we want to check that whatever the user said will match the movie title, for example. So that's our output variable, if you want. So we also grab the movie length. So that's the number of movies, if you want, we have in our movie array. So in some case, I don't know if it can happen, but it's always a good thing to handle that. We might have like a page without any movies corresponding to our filter. So we should handle that, and total movies will be the name. So if total movies equal 0, so no nothing in the movies array, we want to handle that. And this is what we are doing right there with the if block. If total movie is more than 0, it's fine. We can go further. If not, okay, go back and do the same thing again. Actually, not really the same thing again, because you can spot this little guy here. So that's a set block with an expression here. Again, I'm using an expression here to get a random. So I want a random number. I want an integer between 1 and 1000. Why 1000? Because if you remember, when we make the call, this API can send us up to 1000 pages. So this is what we want. And what we are actually doing with that call is, as you can see in the param here, we have the API key, we have the page, we have the language. This is how you want to return the information. So let's say you want to do this for French skill. You do this. I'm setting a random to 1. And as you can see here, we are now the overview in French. So that can be handy. Let's put that back to Ian US. And we got also the page. So I'm grabbing, each time I'm testing the request, I'm grabbing the page 1. But of course, what we are doing in the beginning of the skill is we are getting a random number between 1 and 1000. So let's say for 42, that's another one. And from that, we will filter. We want movies without like title that are too long and this kind of stuff. So we are doing all the filtering here. What we also want to do is to be sure to have like a random in the random. So let me explain that. If I'm getting like 42 as a random number. I will grab all the movies that match the filter, but in the same order. And let's say if in another session I also get a random number which is 42, I will get the exact same thing. So what we want to do, and this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying doing a random in a random. Well, for all the movie that match the filter, we are going to shuffle that. So the movies array with all the corresponding and the matching movies will also be shuffled. So the first movie, the first result will not be always in the first place if you want. So yeah, this is what this function is doing. You put an array here. Let's say you have an array with 3 movies. Well, the second movie will be in first, for example, or etc. You shuffle the array. So this is another way to add more randomness in this. So we got an array, we got a movie title, we got a movie overview. Well, next step is to set this to the whatever count we want. We are using a count here because we can get more than one movie, of course, on one page. Remember that we have up to 20 items. So on one page, most likely we will have multiple movies that will match our filter. And to avoid to make a new API call each time, why simply not using the array we've made first? So let's say we have an array with 5 movies from the first API call. Well, we will use those 4 movies first instead of making an API call after the first movie. So we are using the movies from the array, the movie 1, the movie 2, the movie 3, the movie 4, and the movie 5. And then because we've done all the movies that were in that array, we will go back and do another API call. So how we can do that? Well, we use a count and we are incrementing the count each time up to that count equal total movies. So total movies, again, this is the number of the movie we have in our movies array. So that's the movies length, total movie. Again, if we have 5 movies, we want to, if we went through all the 5 movies, we want to go back here and grab movies from another page, a random one. We can also add like another check here. If the random is equal to the previous one, then get another random, for example. That will be a good stuff to do. So that's how the loop is working right now. So we have a movie array with multiple movie in there. We're grabbing the first one. This is what we are doing here. Count is equal 0. We have not incremented yet, so we are grabbing the first movie 0 title, movie 0 overview. We're doing the stuff, asking what's the movie title and all this, do the check, and from that we are incrementing, checking if we are at the end of the array. If not, we do the loop again. If we don't have any more movies available in that array, we go back to the beginning. Sorry. So what we want to do first is fix this, and let's dive in this little part here. So this is a simple speak block with the movie overview. So we will speak out the overview. We will ask the user, what is the movie? We are using random prompt here. You can have multiple. And then we are using this choice block with a reprompt well, I'm not sure I get that. Can you say that title again? And the title intent is a movie slot. So if I'm clicking here, slot, movie slot, type, slot type movie. The thing is, of course, if the users say the movie, but Alexa didn't get quite well, we want to do like a similarity check. So this is what we are doing here. And you remember in the beginning of the session, I was talking about the new way to use external library. This is what we are going to do right there. To do the similarity test, you don't have to code all the function. You can just find one that match your needs and use that with the required from URL. So what we are going to do here is use this function or this library, and this is the one. So most of the time you can find that on multiple multiple website, or but npm is a good one to find this kind of library, and this little GS deliver will help you to basically import an npm library to your Voiceflow project. So this is what we are doing here. Let's actually let me show npm. Let me show you the process. So on npm, I want to see I want to do similarity, and you can go and check all those. Obviously, I want that for JavaScript, and you have facet Levenstein, GS, Levenstein, string similarity GS. So that's the one I'm using. Clicking on there, and from that you will check the example, what's the library actually is doing, and all that stuff. The most important thing you want to get is the name. So for example here, with that name, as you can see on just deliver, the best way to import is to get the library with the actual version. So to get that version, you go to this URL, you add the package name, so string similarity GS, you go here, sorry, you need the ending slash at the end here. And you will see that you have a version here. This is what you want, and this is what I'm using in the movie quiz right there. So the full URL will be this this URL. So we are declaring a constant here, and the way we are using this function is well, how they are explaining it right there. String similarity, first word or first phrase, and second one, and from that you will have a score. 1 is a perfect match, 0 is the opposite. So with that line of code, you have a way to do similarity check in your skill. So if string similarity, movie title, movie slot, movie title is the actual title, and movie slot is what the user, it's the user returns. And if this is upper than .75, then that's a valid answer. Otherwise, it will be equal to 0 because we are setting the valid variable to 0. So in case we got a valid, we say amazing. Otherwise, no, sorry, not good. So yeah, from that, if we end the full count, so if the total movie, if we have, basically if we run out of movies, then we exit the skill. The movie limitation here is set to, I think it's 10. Not sure. Yeah, I was trying to find multiple. Let's run it. Okay. If valid, yeah, should be good to go. Prototype. So the debug here is just to help me to got the correct title, but obviously the user will only have this with a first welcome prompt and a little explanation of what the quiz is. But yeah, this is the movies overview, and you want to find the title for that. So what is the movie title? So that's Vantage Point. We should get a score of 1, so because that's a perfect match. Sorry for the silence here. I got the feedback in my ear. That's a little bit perturbing. We are right there. Okay, all good. So that's the vanishing. Let's try vanishing only if we see, maybe we will have to, no, that's fine. So as you can see, I didn't say the vanishing, only vanishing, but the similarity like the similarity score was over 0.75. So that's counted as a correct answer. Of course, if I'm saying the king, should not be good. No, sorry. So yeah, that's how it works. So again, that's a mix of multiple little things. So, but at the end, that's a pretty powerful part that you can use in a flow. Each time you need to grab data from a data source or an API call, go through that data, do some filtering to select the data you want, and then apply a loop as well as some string similarity um, um, function. And again, it's not just for that library. You can use multiple or a lot of other library. Let's say you want to use a Moment, which is a great library to deal with date and hour and all this. Well, just have to load the Moment library, and then you can do a transformation. You can get a duration from between 2 dates, for example, without having to code a lot of stuff. Well, yeah, that's it for that project. Do you have any question regarding that part? I know this part was more technical as usual, mostly all JavaScript. But the project will be available. The movie quiz project will be available, so you can go through all those. I will clean that a bit, of course, but yeah, um, it's not. If you look at it that way, that's not that much of coding, and you can copy past that basically. It's just, so again, one main function to filter the result. This other one is to shuffle the result in the array, and then it just mapping corresponding variable to whatever variable name you want to use. No question. Okay. Let's let's talk about the other thing here. So to put you in perspective here, this is what we have in France actually. So in France, we have a lockdown, and each time we want to go outside, we need to fill kind of certificate. We call that an attestation. So that's a certificate, and for this you need to fill some information, so personal information like first name, last name, birth of date, city of birth, your actual address, city, postal code, when you want, so the date, when you want to go out, and like even the hour, because the certificate is valid only for 1 hour. So each time you go outside, you need that. So, and the main thing here is you also have to tick, so choose one of those categories. So you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 categories to choose from. And for each category, or for each time you want to go outside, you need to have to fit in those categories. Otherwise, you are not allowed to go outside. So because of this, I was thinking of, okay, how a voice app can help here, because that's the main goal. I mean, if you are making a voice app, it can be for like a game, or to stream a podcast or this kind of thing. But ultimately, what you want to do is to give user a simpler, easiest way to do something, and just by using their voice, so they don't have to grab a phone or do anything else. So the good example is, as always, I'm using that example. If you want to turn on a light, you have multiple ways to do this. You can use a phone, you can use you, or you can also use your voice. So if you want to use your phone, you will have multiple interaction here. You will have to grab your phone, unlock it, open the app, and then turn on or off the light. That's multiple interaction. That's multiple things to do. If you want to do this the old-fashioned way, if you, let's say you are on the couch, you have to wake up, not wake up. You have to, okay, go to the go to the switch on the wall and switch on or off the light. So that's, again, that's 2-step. If you want to do this by voice, you just ask. So that's only 1 step. And this is a win. And this is what this is my goal. Each time I'm making a voice app, this is what I'm trying to do. So how to go from filling that form each time, generating the certificate in a PDF, and then put that on my phone so I can show that to the police. How I can better under that with a voice app? Well, basically what we want to do is be able to allow the user not, or allows the user not to have to put that and fill that each time. So that's an easy one. We can use the user info block, for example, to grab those information. And we also want to send that PDF automatically to the user. So basically, we went from multiple step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and let's say 11. No, we got the email. So yeah, 11, 10. Okay, maybe 15 step. We want to reduce 15th step to 1. So let's do this. Well, this is the project. This application is live. That's a live skill. sorry about the design here. I was working on this last weekend, and the copy paste between flows was not working. So I will optimize that, but right now this is what we got. So just I will not go too much deeper in there, but this part is the actual, okay, give me your information. So we are grabbing the email, name, address. That's something we can grab from the user Amazon account. And the last thing we want is the date of birth as well as the city of birth, because we don't have those information on the user account. So we are asking for that. That's the kind of onboarding, or that's the first setup. And when it's done, each time the user will launch the skill, if they tell what's the category is, what's the motive, not sure for the English word for that, but what's the justification, if you want, they will receive the certificate on their email. So again, just like one-shot invocation. Well, that's the easy part. We got another part is to make it this official, we need to use this part, because again, we are on the Gouv website. That's the official one. And we want to be able to generate the official PDF. Otherwise, the police can refuse to scan your QR code and this kind of stuff. So we want to be sure that it's matched the actual one. That's another easy thing to do because the code is available on GitHub. So that was an easy part. Of course, the code needed some tweaking, and I've updated it a bit, but yeah, not the most difficult part. What is difficult is to let Alexa understand that if the user say, give me a certificate to buy some bread, this will need to go to this category, for example, or this category. So because I want to buy some bread is not in there. Sorry, that's French, but basically it's mean, okay, moving to make some, to buy some stuff, or go for like shopping, necessary shopping. So grab some food and this kind of stuff. But you don't have bread, you don't have, I want to go, I want to get out to, or even, for example, I want to go to Costco. You don't have store name here. So what we want to do is to be smart enough to understand that I want to go to Costco at 6 p.m. Well, this will fill the form with all your information. The hour will be 6 p.m. The date will be the current one because you didn't say any date, so that obviously that will be for today. Otherwise, you will have say to for example for tomorrow at 9. So all this should be seamless. So all this should be handled correctly. And even though I want to go to Costco, even if for like a computer or for Alexa, it doesn't mean anything. It's not matching any intent or any like that utterance is not even in the skill. So if I'm loading the model view, as you can see, that's the generate intent. That's the main one. I've got some of those. I've got 53, but basically it's like a mix of multiple way to ask for a certificate. So you got the meaning, or mostly the motif, the category, if you want. So I want to go to Costco at whatever hour. I want to go to Costco tomorrow at whatever hour. Or I want to go to Costco tomorrow, or And in this case, because we don't have hour, we want to ask for the hour. So this generate intent is mostly a combination of multiple way to ask for certificates, but not at all any actual reason. Or if we go to the slot, you will see that the reason is just a mapping to the different category you have right there, all those category. So I've some like example, not that much. I think I have like 4 or 5 example here for all of this type of category or reason, main reason. As you can see, mission, we only got one synonyms here. Asha, so Asha is like buying some stuff. It's okay, going to do some errand, go to do some shopping, but no, like no store name, like no, I want to go to Costco. So how to handle that? And why if this should be used by a lot of people. I mean, if I'm making this correctly, that should help a lot of users. So why not using that power to power the skill? So kind of an inception here. That's a good idea actually, and this is how I've solved that issue. So basically, instead of trying to find every utterance that the user will use to do something, like I want to go to work, or I want to walk the dog, all this will be filled by themselves. And instead of using Alexa to find the match here, we will use another one, which is WIT. And that's how I've solved that main problem. So what the user will do is each time the user will ask for or use a reason for the certificate, we will first check that it's not in that intent. Most likely will not, only if the user used the correct word. But if it's not, we are checking WIT, which is, you can see that as the brain, the outside brain, and we will check WIT if WIT can do like the matching. And the good thing is we need to learn, we need to give some information to WIT so it can learn and say that, okay, going to Costco most likely is for the second category, like shopping. Same as I want to grab some bread, shopping. So we need to train WIT, but why not using the user utterance to train that? I mean, like in real time. And this is what I'm doing here. As you can see, we have like more than 1,500 and yeah, more a lot of utterance here. And as you can see here, go to do some shopping. That's an easy one because WIT has already learned that this is the Asha, so the buy category. And as you can see also here, that's all the utterance. So for example, go out with the dog. This is sport and animals. What you have? It's also shopping. This one is ophthalmo. So that's the people that where you go when you have a issue with your eyes, for example. So that's matched the health category, and all this is actually handling automatically by what's the user said. So, for example, here we have Aline, which is mostly a first name, and this is out of scope. So this is not something we want to deal with. So we can train and validate that. And like go grab the kid, which make no sense for Alexa. She don't know that go grab the skill should go grab the kid should fit like the category 9. But because we've already trained that with all the other users' utterance, well, it's match that corresponding intent. And what we are doing in the skill, well, is just do a simple check. So if the intent, we first, of course, check the confidence, as the API will return confidence here. So if it's too low, we don't want to take, we don't want to deal with that. But in other case, let's say if the intent returned by WIT is achat, so buying stuff, well, we just map the reason to achat, and then we go further. And what this be what all this allow you to do is, well, first, having more than 250 intent. Again, we have like more than almost 1050, and the other one that has been already trained more than almost 900 here. And this will allow you to, again, reach your goal, which is make like a 15-step stuff, a 15-step process be only a one voice invocation. And if you do this correctly, well, you will have some success, hopefully. So this is the skill. The skill is live since 8 days, I think. I've already got like more than 500 evaluation. We got some use fan here. We got some bad one here. And that's also something I've learned. Again, you should keep in mind that you want to test the skill. So was not that easy for me. That's a 1 weekend project. So like maybe a 24-hour project, basically, if you put that 2 days in work hour. So yeah, I've done some testing with some friend. The skill was in beta, but yeah, everything went well. But when you hit more than 1,000 users, after that, obviously you will have some bug. So good thing to learn, but again, not a big deal. I've got way worse in the beginning, and just by answering those, and again, that's a good way to get some feedback, some bad feedback, because bugs happen. But as you can see, this one basically was a 2, changed to 5 because I've had some comment in there. Not even this one, but yeah, I do have had some comment, and that's a good way to have a conversation with the user. And most of those bugs were basically specific issue, like a multiple first name, multiple name, all this kind of stuff you can't see coming when you are testing that. I mean, in a lower scale. So again, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that, and I never get as that much of evaluation in less than a week. And yeah, of course, you can see that on the result here. The good thing is I mean, my goal was first being able to switch and make a thing working with only one invocation. But of course, the second main goal was to help the people to deal with that lockdown. So that's a success, at least for me. when you can see that we have more than 20,000 sessions. We got like more than 5,000 activation. We got a good range of average unique customers. And last time I've checked for the number of certificates that's been generated, we are now at like 15,000. So that skill helped people to generate more than 15,000 certificates. And this only by using one invocation. And that was the main goal. And I think also that's the reason of the success of the skill. Just because basically we were matching the need, the actual need. People wanted to be able to go outside for legit reason, like grabbing the kids, but yeah, it's kind of of a pain if you forget that, if you need to go to a website and fill that again each time you need to fill those information, generate the PDF, and yeah, so that's one of the reasons also, of course, of the success of this skill. But yeah, again, that's a good way to remember that sometimes this a simple thing can lead to a big success if that fits the user needs. So you don't have to do a lot of work. Again, that's frankly that's less than like a 24-hour project. But yeah. That's something you should have keep in mind each time you start a project, just to say, okay, is what I'm doing is useful? Is what I'm doing is better than other stuff? Is the user able to do this in the easiest way on other support? In that case, you should rethink of it. It doesn't mean you don't have to or you want to do the project. It's mean that you may want to rethink it so it will be different, or at least easier to use as a voice app. A good article. I got the chance to talk with Alexi from Voxelis, and they also post like a good article about SSO, so skill store optimization. That's also something that can help you get some good results on the skill stores. But yeah, again, very good article. Go to voxelis.com and check for resources blog full of very interesting stuff. Yeah, that's. I think that's it. Let me check the question. So in the chat, how did so many people become aware of the skill in search of time? How did you advertise? That's a good question. I don't really advertise. I think most of the thing is because I was using the intent block, so the one-shot invocation. You know that like some skill can be launched with that invocation, and because that's a main issue here in France. I think some of the user get access to the skill because of this. Also, because of the name of the skill, Mon Attestation. So because that's the main word, you need an attestation or a certificate. So let's say the skill name was my certificate. You need that. So I think a lot of people ask Alexa about this, and most of the time, Alexa maybe return them to my skill. So again, invocation, need to think about a good one and an easy one, an easy one to remember. And again, also one you can add some word after that. So ask my certificate for to buy some bread, or this kind of stuff. It makes more sense in French. Sorry, but basically, so it's more natural. So the user will speak that out without asking themselves some question about how should I trigger, what word should I need, and that also a part of the success of the skill. They don't have to think what they want to say. Basically, they can say whatever they have in mind. It's my job to make that match a category. And I got some very interesting utterances. Some people are so much into this, like, because it's so easy, some of those use like kid's name to get a certificate to go grab their kid. But because we learn that to wait, that some words plus a first name with some keyword in there mean that most likely you are talking about your kids and you want to grab them from school. So that's the school certificate. That's a certificate to go to school. And that's very, that's a very good thing when you reach that goal where you can see that user just asked that in the more human way to get a certificate and get that certificate in return, even using their kid's name. But Alexa don't know their kids. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing for the store name. You are not, when you talk to people, you go, I want to go to Costco. You are not saying, I want to go to do some shopping for this kind of stuff. I want to go to Costco, and I want to go to Costco should be understood as, okay, you want to go to, and we have multiple Costco brand name here. So we have Carrefour, we have G20, we have, and I just had to fill like 2 of them. All the other one was trained by the users themselves, because I don't even know some shop name, but because the user used those shop name, it's trained the model. And the next time other user use the same shop name, that will be a match. And that whole, the user of the skill helps the user of the skill. So that's the ultimate thing. And yeah, I think that's also a big part of the success of this skill. Well, yeah, that will be it for today. Hopefully, that was helpful. I know it's kind of not too much in the subject, but I got some ask for that. So and I'm always happy to share some information. So if that's a format that you like, I can do that some time to times. But yeah, that will be it for today. Sorry, and see you next week. Have a good one, and happy no coding and coding if you want to. That's the good thing of it. You can do both. Bye.
Thanks, Nico.